Last week, you met Stephanie Moles and Tish McCullough from Grace After Fire, an organization that helps female military veterans get back on their feet after the trauma of war.
Women called from the VA or emailed us and said, "We have services for men, but we have no services for women. Can we refer to your program?"
One of Grace After Fire's primary goals is to help female veterans successfully transition from war back into civilian life.
On the flight back from Iraq, I just cried the whole time because it was like we made it, you know. So many didn't make it, so many got hurt, and I am going home.
Tish was now out of the war zone, but she was still in the service and soon would be going to her post in Germany.
It took 4 months for me to get my children back to Germany. I turned to drinking as a way to soften that blow. I didn't make a lot of money in Iraq because I had to pay for my kids to be taken care of. I was pinching my pennies to just go to the store to buy some wine or to get a case of beer. Then we come back and the girls are not getting along. They're not as close anymore. They're not bonded.
Things never got back to the way they were before she left. And my sister would fight, and my mom was so closed off and in her own thing that we didn't talk.
I remember telling my oldest daughter, "How ease that?" Because she was mouthing off. And that's what you say to soldiers. So then I was like, whoa, okay, something's wrong here. They're not my soldiers. I have strategies now.
We slowly started building up the trust and the communication, and now she's my best friend and I have my mom back.
Never before in our nation's history have we had such a concentration of women who have seen combat. The outreach models, again, were around a male model, so education as to what PTSD looks like in a female is a whole lot different than what it looks like in a male. She will internalize it, swallow it, until it just bubbles up and she's crying for no reason.
Back home, the memories of Iraq haunted Tish. Even the sound of an airplane took her back to combat.
A Black Hawk came over our house and I heard it coming. It's a distinct sound. I put my arm across Hannah and I looked out and saw where it was coming from. I made her crawl through my side of the truck and we ran into the house. And she's freaking out. She's like, "Mom, what are you doing? Mom, what's going on?" And I'm like, "Hannah, just get in the house. Hannah, just get in the house."
One of the most pressing concerns from female military veterans is access to adequate health services.
It's not okay to have impaired access to any service. It's not okay to have barriers. A woman can't go into a waiting room of 16 men over the age of 50. She's sitting there alone and getting catcalls. That's not equitable access.
That's the one thing that's different with this job versus being in the military, is that here it's safe to feel like you need help or to reach out.
Grace's approach is based on the idea that having outreach coordinators like Tish, who have weathered the storm of war, helps other veterans feel comfortable sharing their experiences.
We're not only educating our providers, we have to educate our community.
Grace After Fire's future mission is to expand itself such that it looks like the model that can be transferable to other states and other counties and pretty much go nationwide. That we get it right here in Texas. You put heels on the ground, you get some kind of call network going, you hold providers accountable, and then you provide what we call e-health.
Grace represents so much. It's about life. It's about changing. It's about wellness. It's about strength. It's about courage. It's about, I dare you to do something better. I dare you to do something that everybody says you can't do.
Wow, what an amazing story. The women at Grace After Fire are strong and triumphant. Why don't you nominate a woman like that in your life?